Hi and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Hamza Zawali. I'm a career coach. I'm a business coach, and today we're gonna talk about something really cool, because as a career coach, I have a lot of people that come to me. Essentially, sometimes it starts with, "Oh, I'm tired of my job. I'm tired of my company. I need to either change my career or find a new company." And sometimes when I audit their situation, when I listen to them and ask them a few questions, what happens is that I actually realize it's just that they have really bad performance, and with that performance, their relationship with work, with their management, with their environment has deteriorated, and obviously they just want to change now. So this topic is about turning your results around at work. So I'm going to share with you a 5-step formula to become a superstar at work. This is the 5-step formula that I use with every single client of mine. So, take a pen and paper, because this is going to be interesting, very interesting. One last thing, you won't find this on internet. This is something that I created over time. I've been doing this job. I've been a recruiter for 18 years. I've been coaching people for many years. I've been an entrepreneur, a business, coach, all sorts of things for many years. So I had time to test this formula, and without further ado, let's begin. So how to turn your results around in no time. And we're going to start today with the fact that if you are not happy with your work, you have two possibilities. So either you work in a good environment, your manager is decent, it's not perfect, the company is not perfect, the environment is not perfect, but I don't know any company that's perfect or any manager that's perfect. We all have weaknesses, nothing's perfect basically. But essentially, you're not in a dysfunctional environment. You can see that other people that are being recognized are actually achieving good results, and there's a healthy situation. You might see that things are not as good with you specifically. You're struggling with your results, and that might frustrate you, and that might frustrate your management, that might frustrate your team. But essentially, the most important thing that you can think about is that this is, please remember that this is a good situation to be in, okay? You won't find a perfect company, perfect manager, etc., etc. The other possibility is that you are in a crazy environment. And if that's the case, I highly advise you leave. This is my book, The Job Seeker and the Coach. And, this is a complete job search hacking system, narrated as a story. So it's on Amazon if you're interested. If you are in a crazy work environment, don't stay. You're not a tree. You can move, okay? So that's very important. I'm talking now to people that are either managing underperformers or that you are yourself underperforming, because this is what I want you to focus on. One more time, this is my book. It's available on Amazon if you're interested. Oh, by the way, I will put the download link of the first 3 chapters in the description if you're interested. So there's no emails. I'm not going to ask for your email. It's a direct download thing. You'll get the PDF straight away. Okay. So basically, everything that happens to us is here for a reason. Sometimes things that happen to us is a signal from life that, well, we need to upgrade our skills, that we need to go to the next level, that we need to learn something. And this is how I'd like to see it. And this is how I always start saying this to my clients, that this is not a bad thing. Usually when we are, challenged like this, we come up with a better version of ourselves. So this is about to be the case for you. The only difference perhaps is that maybe you did not receive the map to the treasure, and therefore you feel a bit lost on where you're going. But this is why you're watching this. So first of all, what happens when you don't perform well? Well, the mind itself needs to feed from problems. It's its reason to be. And you see, you are experiencing a problem with your results right now. And if the mind doesn't find solutions, well, he's going to stop pondering on that. He's going to move on to another result, because yes, it likes to feed with problems, but it loves solving them. So it always needs justification, reasons. It needs to make sense of the environment. Okay, so what's very important is that if you can't solve your current performance problem, the mind usually goes to another problem. And the safest problems are the ones that don't involve your ego, yourself. Okay, so it's problems with others. And usually what happens, and that's what managers tell me, that's what employees tell me sometimes, is that the problem is outside. Okay, so yeah, but I can't perform well because my company didn't give me training, because my manager is not great, because okay, so the market is not great, etc., etc. So this is a normal trick of the mind. The mind consistently does that, and I want you to not fall into that. The real challenge here is to improve your results. The rest is really secondary. The only question that I have for you is, if others are doing it or are doing better, then you should be able to do better too. Unless you are in a completely dysfunctional environment where there's absolutely no chance that you actually succeed and progress in this organization. Okay, so essentially, you know, I told you I was a business coach as well, and don't worry, there's a relationship with this course, of course, a very strong relationship with this course, of course. But essentially, as a business coach, I always tell people that in order for business to thrive, you've got 3 circles. The first one is serving others, and you serve others with a product or service. Okay, so the second one is marketing, and the third one is selling. Okay, if you have these 3 circles joined, working with each other, feeding from one another, then in the middle you get success, and that's a thriving business, that's a growing business, that's a fantastic business. Okay, now you notice that the area in the middle, the junction, is very, very tiny, and it's very difficult to actually achieve that. A lot of people are not aware of these 3 circles. Anything else in business is peripheral. It's peripheral. The key thing for business to work is these 3 circles. Everything is around these 3 circles. So accounting is peripheral. However, if you're into a distribution logistics business, it's part of serving others, because distribution or logistics or supply chain is part of the customer journey. So it's part of how you serve others. So I hope it makes sense. But what's the connection with you? Well, the thing is, marketing is the art of attracting potential customers. And that's what we do in our career, because in our career, we have these 3 circles. Before getting a job, your job is to attract employers and recruiters to call you, to email you, to invite you for an interview. And that's what you do too. Now, what about selling? Selling is the art of convincing, persuading. And that's what you do, again, in your career when you have a job interview. When you have a job interview, you're in a sales meeting trying to convince that person that he should pay you in order, in exchange of your services. That's what happens. Okay, so these 3 circles are very much the same. Again, the same thing with serving others. Serving others, that's what you do. In fact, if your 3 circles are out of sync, essentially, if you are currently working, it's probably due to the service circle. Because true fulfillment is when your talent and skills serve others. If your talent and skills serve you, if you're just enjoying what you do, regardless whether it adds value to others, then that's a hobby. But in order to be paid, you need to add value to others. You need to serve others. So it's very, very important that you connect fulfillment at work with serving others. And sometimes we have this national sport in companies, in most companies, where everyone criticizes the management, the environment, etc., the company, and that's immediately violating the 3rd circle. Immediately that mindset, that toxic environment, or toxic words that people get used to hear, get used to say, violates the third circle. When you actually serving others, you're serving your company, your colleague, your clients, your other departments, you're serving, okay? And when you say, oh, but clients are rubbish, i.e. your employer is rubbish or your company is rubbish, then you're violating the very spirit of serving others. Fulfillment at work is in the service of others. Fulfillment in general, by the way, is in the service of others. So the truth is that you are self-employed. The moment you stop thinking about yourself as someone that's, just an employee that needs training, that is a recipient of things in order to receive that. The moment you say to yourself, well, it's my company. It's not just a career, it's my company. I'm selling my services and I've got to look after my three circles. Then you succeed. You know, the very reason I have written this book is to give people a marketing and a selling system that would allow them to generate more career choices. That's for job search. But when it comes to serving others, this is the right course for you. Okay, so let's look at this. Now, your career is made of that. It's made of these three circles. So you attract opportunities, whether internally or externally. Okay, so you've got to be attractive, whether through a CV, your profile online, whether through the way you dress when you're at work, the way you speak with confidence, etc., etc. All this is attractive and is important for your career. Okay, convincing others, whether it's through job interviews or internally by trying to convince others. Okay, and finally serving others, because when you have these three circles, what happens is that the connection or the junction between attracting opportunities externally or internally and convincing others that you are the right person for this, then it gives you career choices. That's amazing. The fact that you're convincing others and you have the possibility to serve them at the highest level, then you're impacting their life. You are mattering to their life. You matter. Suddenly you give value, you impact others. Okay, and finally, when you do that 5-star service, what happens is that your personal brand, i.e. the way you are perceived, the way, your reputation, that's what is meant by personal brand. I know the word is commonly used everywhere, but no one really understands what is a personal brand. It's the way you are perceived. It's not necessarily the reality, it's the way you are perceived. So you've got to look after the way you are perceived, because this is what attracts others. Because what happens is that in a job search, you search to attract people in order to have job interviews and to convince them. Okay, then you search to serve others, and then when you serve others, you leverage your reputation, your brand, your results in order to attract more opportunities, whether internally or externally. If you go to a job interview with results from your previous position, then this is going to be attractive again to an employer. So it's like an engine, basically. And the moment you realize this, the moment you realize this, you become an entrepreneur. So I don't like the separation between a normal professional employee and an entrepreneur. We are all entrepreneurs. We are all entrepreneurs. Okay, so right now what's happening is that your circles might be like this. Okay, so your service circle is not making you very attractive, and in essence you're not able to convince because your service circle are not giving you the authority to be listened, to be heard, to be followed. Okay, so the service circle when you're working is the most important circle. That's why it's the one in the bottom. It's on the service circle that everything is built upon. Okay, so since you are self-employed, you've got to start thinking, hang on, so my worst enemy is myself. It's not my employer. I am, because I'm the one that chose this company. I'm the one that's making the decision to do whatever I do during the day that's leading to my results, no one else. So you've got to start thinking, hang on, if I'm making the right decision, I'm the one scheduling my day and I'm getting results, surely I need to take responsibility over this. It's very normal. So you've got to go back to what you do during the day in order to change the results. If you keep on doing the same thing, well, it doesn't matter if you watch this video, if you keep on doing the same thing, the same results will happen. So you take responsibility, and that's the most important thing. And this is where I'm going to introduce to you this 5-step formula. When I work with people, this is what I share with them. I share with them, the art of serving others, and to be fulfilled at work, okay? The art of completely transcending, boosting your performance, boosting your results at work, okay? And it's actually easier than you think. You just need a roadmap, and this is the roadmap. So I hope you will enjoy it. By the way, please do click like or comment or share if you feel that this is valuable. If you're learning something, just take a second to say, I like, thank you, got it, or whatever. I'd love to see some action around this. So listen, serving others is, there's an acronym that I created, it's called SERVE, and that's why I say it's not available elsewhere, because this is something that I personally developed that has been experienced on and on and on, and that works beautifully when it's applied correctly, okay? So SERVE is, the first S is for systemize. Now, what do I mean by systemize? Well, the thing is, every single business, remember you're a business now, every single business is actually, as good as its systems. So the moment you systemize a business, you improve these systems. The moment you improve, that's when you improve the business. So one of the key things that I do as a business coach is I look at the systems, and I help people see how they can improve these systems. What is meant by systems? Systems are processes. In just layman language, it's your routine. It's what you do on a consistent basis, on autopilot sometimes, that's causing whatever result, okay? The moment you tackle this, the moment you look at these systems, this routine, and you start tweaking it and develop a different habit so that you can be on autopilot at the high level, this is when you're going to change the outcome, okay? So basically what is meant by systemize is that I want you to create a document that outlines the recipe for success at your job. Most people, they think they want to become great chefs, and they go to a restaurant's kitchen and they improvise and they work with the boss, but the boss is busy, and sometimes he gives you bits and bobs here, but he's under pressure, he's busy. Everyone is busy, and you're trying to catch things as you go along. You swim or sink, as we say, and no one has given you a precise process. So it's not necessarily your fault today that you're not performing. Maybe you're going to say, but my company didn't give me any training or any specific formulas. I even have clients that ask their manager for formulas, for processes, for methodology and techniques, and their manager would say, oh, listen, I don't care about all this. All that matters to me is results. So you see, sometimes managers are not even as good, as qualified as you wish they are. But it is the way things are now, and we're going to do this regardless, okay? What I want you to do is to create a document that outlines the recipe. How do you do it on a daily basis? What's your routine like? How do you do your job? I want you to think about this. Imagine someone new was to start, and you won't have time to train him or her. You won't have time. It would get your results even worse. What you want is that he or she looks at the small document that you have, and he reads the step-by-step instruction on how to do this. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to create this document not from your mindset, but from the paradigm of someone else's mindset. So what seems logical to you needs to be explained to him or her, okay? Because once you bring what's on your mind and you capture it into a document, what's going to happen is that your paradigm is going to change too. You see, you're doing it from a different angle, and your paradigm is going to change too. It's going to go from here to here. And here, you're going to be able to look at it from a distance. You're going to be able to analyze it. So it's no longer a routine now. It's like catching the routine that's going on, without you realizing it, and suddenly say, hang on a minute, what's going on here? This is a very, very, very important document. In this document, start by explaining the purpose of your job. What's the importance of your job to the company? If you were off sick for 2 months, what would happen to the company, okay? And then write a step-by-step process for one aspect of your job. and then write another aspect of the step-by-step process for another aspect of your job. What I mean is that everything should be scripted. So if you're speaking to people like clients or suppliers or whatever, things should be scripted. Even emails should be templatized. You should create forms. Here we go, Mr. So-and-so. Follow this form when you're speaking to so-and-so, or before getting a proposal ready, these are the 5 things that you need to have in terms of document before getting a quote ready, or whatever. Everything should be scripted, templatized, formalized. Okay, that's the key about the system. It's like creating a recipe. It's like no longer improvising, but actually giving instructions where you don't have to get involved. Okay. And then you're going to be able to analyze the bottlenecks. You're going to be able to say, no wonder I'm not getting enough of this, because look at how many of this I'm doing. No wonder I'm struggling with this, because look at, and you're going to analyze bottlenecks, risk areas. You're going to be able to improve that system, because now that you captured it, you're going to think, hang on, but he's not going to understand it. Hang on, but it doesn't make sense. So you're going to look at things from an outsider point of view, and that's what I do with my clients. I'm an outsider, so it's easier for me, okay? But you can do it yourself as well. So that's the first step. And let me tell you, this first step is where most people procrastinate. Why? Well, because it's not urgent. They are submerged in the routine of their work. And therefore, they're not, they leave it for later and later and later. If you don't do that, there's no changes that could ever happen. The next E, once you have a document and you started improving it, is going to be the E of execution. Okay, so you're going to execute this newly improved system, and you're going to test things, you're going to experiment things, you're going to get things done, and you're going to keep your mind that actually you are experimenting, you are trying new things. So I want you to look at this time management. How is your day going by? So I want you to eliminate, interruptions. I want you to think about those colleagues that keep chatting to you. I want you to think about your breaks. I want you to think about emails, social media, anything that's interrupting you. I also want you to separate urgent and important. When you do something urgent, you're doing it for others. It's usually someone that says, hey, please help. This is going to happen and it's going to impact you. So when you check emails, you're working for others. When you check your messages, you're replying to others. It's for others. It's not for you. What's important is different. What's important is for your future. The important things are the things that you are most likely to procrastinate on, like creating a system. So it's very, very important that you don't fall into the trap, okay? You've got important things and not so important things. Replying to emails now is not important. It's not important, honestly. Urgent has to be done, but replying to every email as they come is not important. Being, interrupted all the time is not important. You've got to get these things out of your day. You've got to be focusing now on a new routine, a new ways, because after roughly 3 weeks, a new habit is going to come. At first, it's going to sound like, oh God, it's a lot of effort, but soon it's going to be habitual. You're going to be used to do it a certain way. If you look at someone's results, they could always be explained by someone's routine. So if you're not aware of your routine, if you can't improve your routine, there's just no way you improve your results. So make sure you do, your own objectives before you get to do someone else's objectives, someone else's stuff. People can wait. It's very rare that you have things that are so urgent that needs to be dropped immediately now. That you have things that needs to be dropped immediately now. It's very, very rare. So eliminate distraction and interruptions. We talked about this, and that includes colleagues, and track results. Because remember, you are now experimenting with this new system. Track results and challenges. The next R is the R of review, because now you improve the system and now you are giving it a go, but now you've seen that, I need to improve this. I need to include a schedule in my system so that things are more effective, I'm more productive, I can produce more results in the same day, I can improve this. So review is really fine-tuning your system. Measure your performance. Think about customer satisfaction, think about KPIs, think about number of emails that are replied, think about people's responses to the new script, think about the time efficiency, think about anything, okay? Improve forms, processes, templates. This is how you're going to tweak your system again. Can you see that your results are improving? Of course they are improving, because you are now a student of your own craft. You're not just improvising your way or doing what you've always done or hoping that things get better if someone gives you a bit of training or if luck strikes and whatever happens. So create a more effective schedule, okay? Experiment with new ideas. You're gonna go back to that system and you're gonna improve it, okay? Imagine if you were to, in 5 years' time, write a book, you would remember this time where you actually started studying your craft, decided that excellence was a quest, and you were going to serve people at the best of your ability because you're smart, you're good at what you do, and you can improve drastically what you're doing. You're very, very smart. You can find solutions, improve your final recipe, and change the document outlining the system. And then maybe it's time to submit that document to your manager or to a top performer, to a mentor, so that he can review it. Because again, this is part of improving your system, you see. But I'm only doing it now because I'm starting to have some results. I'm starting to have some tractions because I'm measuring things and I can show them this has been working with me. Can you see a problem with this? Can you see something that you're not doing or that you're doing better? I'd love to learn from you, because now we are entering the fourth step of serving others. Serve is voicing. I want you to start voicing your achievements. I want you to start being noticed. It's time that whatever you're doing with this system, you start sharing it with the world. You start making yourself heard, because with voice, you're going to change your personal brand, the perception that others have. And if you are underperforming, it's not usually good. The perception that others have is that, oh my God, what am I going to do with this person? But you want to voice your achievements now. You're going to turn things around. Think like it is your business. Take ownership. And this is where you're going to be able to suggest things. Like systems, software, and try not to suggest things that are costly. Ideally things that are free. There's tons of things that you can improve for your company that are related to your job, of course. If it was your company, how would you do it? What search would you do on Google if it was your own company? Take ownership. And you can suggest improvements in the way things are done. And of course, you're going to be, again, having a voice, suggesting things and ideas and achievements. You're going to submit that document. You're going to put this document at the disposal. People would love to have forms, scripts, etc., especially if it's not available, or if it's not done well, or if it's missing, okay? Especially new people. Offer to mentor someone with your new system, especially now that you're starting to have some results. Now, this is done over a period of 2 or 3 weeks. This is all it takes, because you're developing a new habit and you need to keep your focus on your system, on your schedule, on your execution, on your productivity, because soon it will be second nature. I guarantee you. It will be a struggle for only 2 or 3 weeks, and you're going to be a superstar after that, okay? You're going to be on a improving, okay? And the final E is for expand, because now it's time to, grow your result, keep growing your responsibility, and grow financially. Look, if your results have improved, it's time to ask for a raise. Of course, there's a way to ask for a raise, and I always say to people, look, you can only ask for a raise if your results have really improved. If you're providing more value, if you're consistently trying to provide more value than what you paid for, you're going to be in a position where you're going to say, hang on a minute, we need to adjust things, okay? And this is where you're going to start expanding financially too, okay? But you need to keep growing your results. Remember, you're studying your craft. You want to be a master chef. And providing an amazing service. That circle needs to be impressive, because soon enough you're going to feel that you're going to be more attractive, and you're going to feel that people are going to listen and follow you more. So those 3 circles are going to cross. Offer to mentor someone with your new system, offer to take on new projects, Keep voicing your newest achievements. It's very, very important that you keep this system alive. It's not because you're expanding that you should put things together. No, it's something that is ongoing. You now need to always focus on your system, on your voice, and basically those 3 circles, okay? The more you grow them, the more you will grow, okay? And keep fine-tuning that system. I keep repeating this. So repeat serve for any extra activity, extra responsibility. So you could be, for example, let's say you have managerial responsibility. Well, you can also say, hang on, how can I improve that? You know, let's put a system to maybe I'll start with a team meeting at this time every day, and then you know, a schedule. What's the routine? Show me your results and I'll guess what your routine is, or rather the opposite. Show me your routine and I'll tell you what your results are going to be. Okay, so your routine is everything. Your system is everything. The way you apply that system is everything. So any new responsibility, just go back to serve. In fact, you can even ask your team to start systemizing things, to start creating a system, to obviously, ask them to improve things, okay? Because the more you do that, the more they do that, the more they are self-aware, okay? And always tell them, look, do it as if someone was actually, joining the team, and you have to train him, you have to create a document so that it doesn't take you long for him to get up to the level. Create a document for someone who's just going to follow your instructions. Based on what we have so far, how would you improve it? Okay? And that's really, really key. All right? So this is your 3 circles now. And you see you're now creating more career choices, because that's what happens consistently. Every time your service circle start becoming bigger, you become more attractive, you have a voice, people are more and more attracted to you. You're a result-driven person, and that's fantastic. And this is how you get career choices. You're also able to now impact more people's life. You've introduced better forms, better scripts, better systems. You are providing more results to your employer. You're impacting other people's life, and you feel good about it. Of course, your personal brand, the way you are perceived, the way you are, your reputation basically is enhanced, and that's how you leverage this to grow financially, to grow in terms of responsibility, etc., etc. This is a quote by Jim Rohn. You'll read it when you have a second, of course, but essentially what I want to say is that whatever you go through, if you choose to go through my system, please do give it a go. If you choose to do that, just understand that it's not even about the system. It's about the person you're going to become through this system. In order to have different results, you've got to become a different person. You've got to struggle through becoming a different person. It's the person that you become that becomes attractive. It's not the person it's not your results. It's who you become in order to achieve these results. There's just no way that by staying the same, you get to do different things. You've got to become someone else in order to do something different. And becoming someone different, it means that you are maturing, gaining an experience, gaining in confidence, and growing personally. So you see, when you do that, this is how job satisfaction, job fulfillment is about. It's because the job is making you fulfilled, because you're growing. Growing is motivation, is progress. So growing keeps you motivated. You love your job, you love your company, you love everything, because things are starting to come to you. You reverse that vicious cycle into a virtuous cycle. And that's what I hope for you. I'm not going to keep you longer, and I hope this is useful. If it is, please give it a thumb up, and don't hesitate to share. My name is Hamza Zawali from nameyourcareer.com. If you'd like to discuss your specific situation, please feel free to go to nameyourcareer.com to book a free consultation. And for those of you who are in crazy environment, check out this book. It's narrated as a story, and you'll find tons of reviews on Amazon. Okay, thank you very much, and I will speak to you very soon. If you subscribe, see you on the next video. Bye-bye.